Daily Bible reading, May 4th, so day 193. Okay, here we go. Duties of the Levites. First Chronicles 23, 1 through 6. Then when David was an old man, he appointed his son Solomon to be king over Israel. David summoned all the leaders of Israel together with the priests and Levites. All the Levites who were 30 years old or older were counted, and the total came to 38,000. Then David said, "For the Levites, all 24,000 will supervise the work at the temple of the Lord. Another 6,000 will serve as officials and judges. Another 4,000 will work as gatekeepers, and 4,000 will praise the Lord with the musical instruments I have made." Then David divided the Levites into divisions and named after the clans descendants from the three sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The Gershonites. 1 Chronicles 23, 7 through 11. The Gershonite family units were defined by their lines of descendant Libni and Shimei and sons of Gershon. Three of the descendants of Libni were Jehiel, the family leader, Zetham, and Joel. These were the leaders of the family of Libni. Three of the descendants of Shimei were Shelomoth, Haziel, and Haran. Four other descendants of Shimei were Jahath, Ziza, Jush, and Beriah. Jahath was the family leader, and Ziza was next. Jush and Beriah were counted as a single family because neither had many sons. The Kohathites. 1 Chronicles 23, 12 through 20. Four of the descendants of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of Amram were Aaron and Moses. Aaron and his descendants were set apart to dedicate the most holy things, to offer sacrifices in the Lord's presence, to serve the Lord, and to pronounce blessings in his name forever. As for Moses, the man of God, his sons were included. His sons were included with the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eliezer. The descendants of Gershom included Shebuel, the family leader. Eliezer had only one son, Rehabiah, the family leader. Rehabiah had numerous descendants. The descendants of Izhar included Shelomith, the family leader. The descendants of Hebron included Jeriah, the family leader, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, and Jechamim the fourth. Excuse me. The descendants of Uzziel included Micah, the family leader, and Uzziah the second. The Merarites. 1 Chronicles 23, 21 through 32. The descendants of Merari included Mali, and Mushi. The sons of Mali were Eliezer and Kish. Eliezer died with no sons, only daughters. His daughters married their cousins, the sons of Kish. Three of the descendants of Mushi were Mali, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the descendants of Levi by clans. The leaders of their family groups, registered carefully by name, each had to be 20 years old or older to qualify for service in the house of the Lord. For David said, "The Lord, the God of Israel, has given us peace. He will always live in Jerusalem." Now the Levites will no longer need to carry the tabernacle and its furnishings from place to place. In accordance with David's final instructions, all the Levites 20 years old or older were registered for service. The work of the Levites was to assist the priests, the descendants of Aaron, as they served at the house of the Lord. They also took care of the courtyards and many other ways in the house of God. They were in charge of the sacred bread that was set out on the table, the choice flour for the grain offerings, the wafers made without yeast, the cakes cooked in olive oil, and the other mixed breads. They were also responsible to check all the weights and measures, and each morning and evening they stood before the Lord to sing the songs of thanks and praise to him. They assisted with the burnt offerings that were presented to the Lord on Sabbath days, at new moon celebrations, and at all the appointed festivals. The required number of Levites served in the Lord's presence at all times, following all the procedures they had been given. And so, under the supervision of the priests, the Levites watched over the tabernacle and the temple and faithfully carried out the duties of service of the house of the Lord. The duties of the priests, 1 Chronicles 24, 1 through 19. This is how Aaron's descendants, the priests were divided into groups for service. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, but Nadab and Abihu died before their father, and they had no sons, so only Eleazar and Ithamar were left to carry on as priests. With the help of Zadok, who was a descendant of Eleazar, and Ahimelech, who was a descendant of Ithamar, David divided Aaron's descendants into groups according to their various duties. Eleazar's descendants were divided into 16 groups and Ithamar's into 8, for there were more family leaders among the descendants of Eleazar. All tasks were assigned to the various groups by means of sacred lots so that no preference would be shown, for there were many qualified officials serving God in the sanctuary from among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. Shemaiah, son of Nathaniel, a Levite, acted as a secretary and wrote down the names and assignments in the presence of the king. The officials, Zadok, the priest Ahimelech, son of Abithar, and family leaders of the priests and Levites. The descendants of Eleazar and Ithamar took turns casting lots. The first lot fell to Jehoarib, 2 Jedediah, 3 Harim, 4 Serum, 5 Malchijah, 6 Mijamin, 7 Hakaz, 8 Abijah, 9 Jeshua, 10 Shechaniah, 11 Elishib, 12 Jakim, 13 Hupa, 14 Jeshabib, 15 Bilgah, 16 Immer, 17 Hezer, 18 Hapizes, 19 Pethahiah, 20 Jehezkel, 21 Jachin, 22 Gamel, 23 Deliah, 24 Maziah. Each group carried out his appointed duties in the house of the Lord according to the procedures established by their ancestor Aaron in obedience to the commands of the Lord, the God of Israel. The family leaders among the Levites, 1 Chronicles 24, 20 through 31. These were the other family leaders descended from Levi. From the descendants of Amram, the leader was Shabuel. Shabuel, the leader was Jehediah. Then Rehabiah, the leader was Isaiah. Izhar, the leader was Shelomith. Of Shelomith, the leader was Jahath. Of Hebron, Jeriah was the leader. Amariah was second. Jaziel the third, and Jechamim the fourth. Uziel, the leader was Micah. From the descendants of Micah, the leader was Shamir, along with Isaiah, the brother of Micah. The descendants of Isha, the leader was Zechariah. Merari, the leaders were Mahili and Mushi. Jazaiah, the leader was Beno. Moriah through Josiah, the leaders were Benos, Shoham, Zakur, and Ibri. Descendants of Mali, the leader was Eleazar, though he had no sons. Descendants of Kish, the leader was Jeremiel. Descendants of Mushi, the leaders were Mali, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the descendants of Levi in their various families. Like the descendants of Aaron, they were assigned to their duties by means of sacred lots without regard to age or rank. Lots were drawn in the presence of King David, Zadok, Ahimelech, and the family leaders of the priests and the Levites. Duties of the musicians, 1 Chronicles 25, 1 through 31. David and the army commanders then appointed men from the families of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun to proclaim God's messages to the of lyres, harps, and cymbals. Here is a list of their names and their work. From the sons of Asaph, there were Zakur, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Azarellah. They worked under the direction of their father Asaph, who proclaimed God's messages by the king's orders. From the sons of Jeduthun, there were Jedaliah, Zeri, Jeshiah, Shimei, Hashabiah, and Mattithiah, 6 in all. They worked under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who proclaimed God's messages to the accompaniment of the lyre, offering thanks and praise to the Lord. From the sons of Heman were Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uziel, Shubael, Jeremoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Elathah, Gidalti, Romamti, Ezer, Josh Bekashash, Malathi, oh my goodness, Huther, and Mahaziath. These were the sons of Heman, the king's seer, for God had honored him with 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the direction of their fathers as they made music at the house of the Lord. Their responsibilities included playing of cymbals, harps, and lyres at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman reported directly to the king, and their families were all trained in making music before the Lord. Each of them, 288 in all, was an accomplished musician. The musicians were appointed to their term of service by means of sacred lots without regard to whether they were young or old, teacher or student. The first lot fell to Joseph of the Asaph clan and 12 of his sons and relatives. The second to Jedaliah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The third to Zakur, his 12 sons and relatives. The fourth to Zeri, 12 sons and relatives. Fifth to Nathaniel. Sixth to Bukiah. Seventh to Azarellah. 8 Jeshiah. 9 Mattaniah. 10 Shimei. 11 Uziel. 12 Hashbiah. 13 Shabul. 14 Mattaniah. 15 Jeremoth. 16 Hananiah. 17 Josh Bekashash. 18 Hanani. 19 Malothi. 20 Elitha. 20 Elitha. 21 Hother. 22 Gidalti. 23 Mahazoth. 24 Romamti Ezer. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much.